Doesn't know ball. He doesn't know ball. Oh
Okay.
goodness, this isn't a live podcast.
Well, thank you, DraftKings, for sponsoring that section. What's up, everybody? This is What Are Sports podcast. We're talking about strictly the NBA today. My name is Julian. This is
I'm Dawson. I thought
all
you were
right.
gonna say my name.
You're good. You're good. All right, Dawson. What makes a contender in the NBA?
I think there's three big aspects that make a contender in the NBA. First one being depth. I like seeing a team that has seven, eighth, ninth man on the bench that can make a difference on the court in real minutes that they're gonna get. Gives the star players a chance to, have an off game sometimes for other players to step up. Um, I think a narrative that has been around the league for a long time that I still don't fully understand, but sometimes does tend to make a difference is experience. How many players on your team have gone deep in the playoffs, have made finals runs, and if you're a team that has a little experience in that, I just feel like that is something that is going to hold a team back. So I think experience is a factor that goes into being a contender. And then I think also chemistry, one that is always not the biggest part, but it still can play a huge part in being a contender, is how well a team meshes together, how long they've played together. I think those are the big three things that go into being a contender.
Do you think for playoff experience, and I agree, I'm not fully sold on that idea, but
Mhm.
you think it's more players adjusting to like a 7 game format, or is it players playing really good teams
I think it's
in a
a
playoff
mix. I
environment?
like I like the good teams aspect. I didn't think about that. It's yeah, you're consistently playing better teams, but it's also if you don't ever make the playoff, your season ends in April, but the further you go, the more you play. So I think it actually goes into conditioning with it because I was trying to
Hmm.
think of more of a reason why experience would make a difference because we both agree that I'm not fully sold on that idea, but that is something that you got to take into account. Is your conditioning good to keep playing, have a shorter off season, um, and like a cutoff that doesn't come as soon. So I think that's the bigger aspect of, like you said, I like that we're the way you said it of you're playing better teams, but it's also you're playing more, which is something that a lot of people that don't make the playoffs don't have to
Hmm.
take part in.
And then that's why you need deeper rosters as well. 'Cause
Exactly.
you need that conditioning.
Hmm.
So one of the reasons why I brought up like the point about why do we need to figure out what a contender is because I feel like if we just base contenders off of playoff success, it kind
Hmm.
of undermines the point of the regular season. So I want to have a way for us to look at contenders right now in the regular season. So we don't have to just judge them later on, but we could kind of appreciate all the teams right now and kind of use our
Hmm.
criteria to see who are the good teams right now.
Right.
So we don't have to wait for the playoffs.
Right.
So I think what we're going to do, we're going to go through our top 5 teams, give a little bit of reasoning
Hmm.
of what makes them contenders.
Okay. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
Um, yeah, you could go first.
Okay. 30 seconds a team.
30 seconds, to, yeah.
I'm a,
You
I'm
set a
a,
timer?
I'm gonna set a timer. I'm gonna put it like facing the screen,
Okay.
so neither we both know. Okay. Ready? So for number five, I'm gonna put the Milwaukee Bucks. I wanted to put an Eastern team on here, and just watching the way they've played, especially recently, like against the Mavericks, I think their team is very deep. They got obviously Giannis, who is easy all-star. They don't really have a secondary star, but their team goes deep where they have a lot of good shooters. Miles Turner's a great defensive anchor. Um, they have Kyle Kuzma, who's not as peak, but is still going to be able to do a little bit here and there.
That was quick.
Success. I have 30 seconds.
Like you're a slow talker. No, I agree with that. I
Hmm.
think the Bucks are like they're not the conventional choice for the East, but they are a good team, definitely better than last year, and I think they are underrated. So
Right.
I
Yeah.
could see them being pretty good.
Hmm. That's my only Eastern team. So
You want me?
next,
I'll go.
oh, you
You
want to go
want me?
back and
I'll go.
forth? Yeah.
Yeah, for my fifth team, or for my fifth ranked team, is also gonna be an Eastern team. It's gonna be the New York Knicks. I wasn't fully sold on them, but I don't think anybody from the East has playoff experience is as well-rounded. I think losing Tibbs will be a good thing for the conditioning. That's kind of what hurt them a lot in the playoffs. I think they could have beat the Pacers if they didn't have the injuries. So I think they are the best team. I don't know if they could beat anybody in the West, but they are still pretty good. So I'm gonna say the New York Knicks.
Okay. I like that pick. They're doing really good right now in the East. I think they're second right now. Let me
Hmm.
check. Yeah, 7-3. I really haven't heard much from them this year. I do like agree. I like your take with the losing Tibbs. I think was good for them because I do like him as a coach. I think his style just wasn't right for the team. Just overplaying guys. Um, so I'm okay with that pick. Okay.
All right, number four.
Number four. So I talk about them a lot, maybe too much. It's like going with the Warriors at number four. They had a really hot start. Started to slow down a little, but they've been dealing with a little bit of injuries. Jimmy Butler got hurt one game. I don't even know if he's still out or not. Steph Curry sat for a game. But I think they do have a deep team. I think Pods has not been playing to his potential, and I think if he can get there, that'll take him to another spot. I think they're really deep. I like the veteran addition of Al Horford, although he won't be able to do too much. I think he just has some experience that could help them. And last thing I was gonna say is I think Quentin Post at center is a good thing for them to keep that stretch five going, so more
Hmm.
shooters around.
Hmm. I personally don't have the Warriors that high up, but I agree with your takes. Like they are pretty good. They're gonna win a
Hmm.
good amount of games, and they do have that experience.
Hmm.
Right, right. So for my fourth team, okay, the Los Angeles Lakers. I think any team
Okay.
with Luka Doncic is a contender.
Hmm.
LeBron, Reeves, they both have been out. The bench is looking very strong, better than the last couple of seasons.
Hmm.
And the Warriors are just making games like look a lot more effortless than last year. And they've been pretty good defensively, and I really trust JJ Redick as a coach. So I don't think there's any reason this team won't at least make it to the second round of the playoffs.
Hmm. I like that. I like all your points with that, especially the point that they're making things look easy. Like I did not think they'd be as cohesive as they were, especially because early on they didn't start amazing. But I think they are going in the right direction, and I like second round needs to be their floor.
And like Aiton, if he averages 15 points a game, that's a win, you
Yeah.
know.
Hmm. Okay. It's like my third team is also going to be the Los Angeles Lakers. You had them at four. I have them at three. I think right now with Luca, they look a lot better than the Warriors. That's why I put them above them. And we haven't even seen LeBron play with this team yet. And so I think come mid-season, they're going to look really scary. Aiton's already been fitting in well. He started off a little slow, but he's doing well. And Jackson Hayes is doing well. And this is the first year I've seen all the role players actually step it up. Rui's looking really good. And then Austin Reeves is taking that next leap into becoming a superstar. And so I think they can go really far.
So for my third one, a little bit controversial, but I'm gonna do the San Antonio Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Wembanyama. They have a lot of really good guards. De'Aaron Fox just came back and they were already like 7-2. I think this is a really good team. I think Poch might have been holding them back the last couple of years, and I think I like this new coaching. And I think the only thing that beats playoff experience is a player that can transcend the game the way Wembanyama does. Really excited to see what the Spurs could do in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. So that's the only one so far. Like in theory, they should be, and it's one of those where we've talked about it in the past. Like, do you believe in the team? And right now, I don't. They're doing. I think they're second in the West, something like that. They're doing really well. It's just they're young, and those young teams I never have much faith in, such as like the Cavs last few years or like the Orlando
Hmm.
Magic. Just like I just when they're young, I think they're gonna be great, but. Like no disrespect to the vets, but if you have De'Aaron Fox and Kelly Olynyk as your vets, it's just not like they don't have that experience either. You know, coming from the Kings, he doesn't have much. Kelly Olynyk has a little bit, but he's just not enough of a impactful guy. So I think maybe in the next year, like next year would be the start of I start believing in them. But I think this year they're still just going to be young, figuring things out. But I don't hate that pick. I just it's not for me.
Hmm. Would you say that the Lakers are more talented than them?
Overall, I'd say yes, but obviously you have Victor, and right now it's definitely debatable. But I think Victor's the best player in the league right now. So.
Yeah. So
Uh,
it's close.
It
Uh-huh.
is close. Like I'd put them at like a six or a seven in my ranking, but
Hmm.
not in the top five. Okay. So my second team, I'm gonna go with the Denver Nuggets. Um, I feel like you can't count Jokic out any team he's on. Aaron Gordon is looking phenomenal this year. I always say like, and I see people online say it too, that Aaron Gordon's the perfect player to play with Jokic because of just his movement. But his jump shot is looking so much better. Like it wasn't bad last couple of years, but it's just taking that next leap that it needed to. Um, just a deep team also, and I just think they have a, they're just able to dominate anyone they play, and that's the only team I could see beating my number one team in a 7 game series.
Yep,
Mhm.
respect. I agree, and that is actually my pick as well. Denver Nuggets. They added. I'm kind of gonna butcher his name, but like Valanciunas.
Play Valanciunas, yeah.
Yeah, Valanciunas. They added him. I think he's a great backup center for Jokic.
Mhm.
Tim Hardaway Jr., Bruce Brown. Okay, I'll do my number one pick. I think we both have the same team.
I think we do. So yeah, you can go first.
OKC. They don't have Jalen Williams. They don't have Lou Dort. They're still playing incredible. All the role players are still playing. I'd say better than last year. Everyone's stepping up. Shea is still playing like an MVP right now. Um, yeah, I think this is the best team in the league, and this is their championship to defend. So there's no really argument against them for number one. Maybe if an injury happens or something. Chet's also playing good, which is cool to see.
Yeah, that was gonna be my number one team. I agree with all your takes. They're just so deep. Their rookie this year, he's supposed to be really good. And I can't remember if he's out for the whole season or what, but he's hurt, and that's just another piece that's gonna be added to this team. Um, I can't think if they've made any real changes, but I mean, this is a team that has all three of the characteristics I said before now. They have that playoff experience they got from obviously just winning the finals. They're deep, so like they got seven, eight, nine men. They're, excuse me, they're gonna help out. Obviously, like you said, with the injuries they have, so these guys are getting even more experience. So it's just gonna be scary to see. And then also they have that chemistry. We've known they seem like the oldest AAU team ever with the way they like conduct themselves, which is great. But then they're just all this core has been like playing together for a few years now, and they just look solid together. So I think they're the easy choice. So, but I do see maybe the Denver Nuggets, like I said, could maybe beat them in a 7 game series. Maybe the Lakers, once they're fully there, but like not many teams I could see like having a chance there.
Defensively and offensively, they're just
Mm-hmm.
superior. Yeah,
It's
I think so
OD,
too.
OD Hezzy
Yeah.
Trey ball,
All right, that's our top five teams,
top five.
and I think maybe we'll talk about one team each. I'm just kind of putting you on the spot right here, but
Okay,
teams that a lot of people think are contenders, and you're not really sold on them.
okay.
If you want to go
Uh,
first.
let me look really fast. Okay, yeah, I like this one. Um, Rockets, big name we talked about week one a little bit. I just don't see this team working out. Obviously Kevin Durant, one of the best players ever, but I do think him leading a team has been something we've tried to watch in the past and just he can get close, but he can't go all the way without like honestly when he's on that Warriors team they were winning. I mean, easily the greatest team ever assembled, but also like the argument is like who was the better player, Steph or him. Obviously he got the two finals MVPs, but he wasn't going to get there without Steph. And so this is the first time in a while we've seen him too without a real like secondary superstar with him. Because in Brooklyn it was the big three of him, Kyrie, and James Harden. And that was, itself was a weird situation. But then Phoenix, he had Devin Booker, Bradley Beal. So this is when we have like a bunch of role player guys. So honestly, I feel like this would be a better chance for him, even though like I've talked about it before too, no facilitator. But I just think overall the team is not going to be built to win a championship. I think their ceiling could be conference finals, but I don't think they're truly a contender.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be like a conference finals heartbreak.
Hmm.
But I think another thing is like KD isn't elite anymore. I mean, that could be an argument, but
Hmm.
he's not the player he was 2 years ago. He gives
Hmm.
up a lot of turnovers per game.
Yeah,
I do like him and Sagoon together, but like the ball movement is just still not great for the Rockets.
right.
So I 100% agree with that take.
I don't know if that was your team you were choosing or not.
I can choose another one.
I just feel like there's not too many more unless you want to pick an
Maybe
Eastern team.
I'd say maybe like the Timberwolves.
That was my other choice because I can't think of an Eastern team that would be
Like
good.
I don't know if they I don't know if they added anybody significant or anything, but it just doesn't seem like they're the same team
Hmm.
as last year who were contenders. Um, you know,
Hmm.
Rudy Gobert, just that whole like offense and stuff. Yeah, I don't know if they got better the same way all the Western Conference teams got better.
I agree.
And I'm not sold on them.
Mm-mm. And I know they lost Nikhil Alexander Walker. He got traded to the Hawks, and I don't really
Mhm.
know if they got anything out of that. That was just a defensive piece for them. They're still a good defensive team, but I like the way you said it. I don't think they got better the same way everyone else in their conference got better. Because right
Yeah.
now they were starting all right. They're sixth in the West, 7-4. Just it's such a competitive conference. Like you got to make sure you're constantly like trying to be the best, or you're gonna lag behind. Because it doesn't matter if you don't get worse, because other people are gonna get better. Because that's the thing. I don't
Uh,
think this team is necessarily worse than they were before, but if you don't get better, then you're not gonna be a contender.
yeah, they'll be fifth or sixth seed. Maybe we talked about this on the podcast before, but we're talking about the highlight league right now. Um, and something I was thinking about was how it seems like for casual NBA games, all you really need to do is watch the YouTube highlights, look at the box scores. And comparing it for like the average NFL fan, I think that they actually want to watch the games a lot more. Maybe the games are more accessible to watch. Maybe that's why they choose to watch them. But like the story and just seeing the game live is way more important than I think for basketball fans. Maybe that could be because of like star players where you just need to see their highlights. You don't really care about the role players playing, or a multitude of factors. But I think that's a concerning thing. I think that's kind of a problem for the league. I know that it benefits a lot from social media and stuff, but I think it hurts the game, and how the fans view the game when they aren't watching the games. I don't know if you have any thoughts about that.
No, I agree. I mean, for football, every game matters a little more, even if people try to say every game matters in the NBA. I think definitely though, being on Sundays, sometimes it's more accessible than to watch a weekday game, especially if you're a West Coast or if it's a West Coast game and you're on the East Coast. Those games are going until like 1:30 in the morning here. Um, and so I don't know if it's just like you said, I like the way you said it. If it's just a casual game, you're a casual fan, the box score and the highlights are enough. But I think when you are a diehard fan, it is something you want to see the whole game because there's a lot of things that go into the game that's more than just on the box score. Like an example is Wembanyama, his defensive presence isn't always on the box score. Like, yeah, he'll have 3 blocks, but how many times did someone go in the paint and then just turn around because, they don't want to get blocked? That's just things you're not going to see on the highlight reel or on the box score. So
Hmm.
definitely, like, yeah, 100% agree. If it's a casual fan, you can get away with just like doing that. But if you're serious about watching it, I think that's where it becomes a problem. Was like the big NBA fans who want to see all this.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think the point of this podcast, or what I want for the viewers and for myself, is like let's make the regular season great again.
Yeah, it's like get rid of Peacock.
Get rid of Amazon Prime.
It's like we're never getting sponsored by Amazon or Peacock now. So
Um,
it is transitioning to that for NFL though too, isn't it?
yeah, it is. It is. They have Christmas games on Netflix. They have Peacock.
Is
They
that
have
not a highlight league then in theory becoming too? Because isn't that the whole reason people started that whole conversation was because of games going to streaming services and not being able to watch as many?
oh yeah, I see what you mean. I just think I see what you mean with that aspect. I think NFL games are more watched. People tune in more for their team, and I also think that with the NFL, people think it's more important to actually watch the games live.
Hmm.
But I know what you're saying. I think like having games less accessible for everybody makes it more of just like me looking at it on my phone rather than actually watching it. So
Right.
yeah, I think it hurts everybody.
Yeah, except the
So
owners.
yeah, yeah, exactly. In my pockets. Um,
It does not help your
um,
pockets.
you are a way better fan than I am, but like, enjoy the regular? How do you enjoy the regular season? Like, how do you? Because it's a very long. It's all the way until like May. Like, how do you stay tuned, keep enjoying it? Because it does seem a little bit bleak sometimes.
I think as much as there's complaints about it, I complain about it too. I think a good way to do it is through the national televised games. I think only selecting like a few games that you really can watch is good because especially most games are going to be the better teams that are matching up. So watching the good matchups there and then also just sticking with a single team, uh, because you're gonna care more about the success. And so, obviously, if it's a team I don't care about, I don't really care of how good their record is. But my team specifically, I'm more invested in every game because I want to move up. So like if we're the fourth seed, but we're 2 games away from the third, I'm like, all right, I'm fully invested until we can try to get there. Um, and that helps a little bit too because then you're focusing on a second team as well. Like if I'm looking at we're the fourth seed and trying to take the spot from the third seed, I'm watching their games too to see if they're going down. And so it just keeps you invested a little bit. Obviously it is a long season. I think a part of it is you're not going to be paying attention to everything. Like especially like I said, my one team, I'm not going to be paying attention for the whole season, like as much as I can, but I'll miss a few games here and there. I'm not watching them all, but I'm making like I'll miss even seeing if we won a game or two here and there. But like yeah, that's what I think the biggest thing is focusing on one team, but then enjoying the rest of the league through just national televised games
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree.
and highlights. So like
And
I hate
highlights,
to
of
admit it, but
course.
it's not completely wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think the league does a good job with the national broadcasting game and like creating narratives as the regular season goes on as best as they can because it is a long season, so you will get bored a little bit.
Hmm.
I do think it's also like after maybe the first 2 weeks of the NBA, it gets a little bit boring because you kind of like all the new stuff is like all the new players on teams and stuff like that's kind of all out the window. Like you've already experienced that, so now you're just kind of like realizing how long the season is,
Hmm.
going ahead. I think the
Yeah.
season gets a lot better like after Christmas. I think that's when like the best stretches as a fan watching it.
I wonder if that's because there's the All-Star break too. So, it's almost like that's a break you get in between it. So it's not like consistent for the longest time. And maybe just because it's getting closer to play. Actually, no, that makes more sense. You're getting closer to playoffs, games do start mattering more.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Because
It's a
like
little,
the
oh, you got
Pistons
it.
are not the Pistons are 9-2 right now, but
Yeah.
who knows? Who knows what they're going to be in 20 games? They probably got lucky for half the games.
I mean, they can end 9 and what, 73? Like anything can
Hmm.
happen,
Yeah.
especially for a team that like you don't believe. Like the first, I feel like 10 games really don't matter because the whole standings can be flipped by the end of the season.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Mhm. Like
And,
just looking.
the Timberwolves could be the fourth seed or they could be the 10th seed.
Mhm.
Um, it's just from recent NBA news with Nico Harrison getting fired.
Mhm.
They're already going to try to trade away Anthony Davis, which I think is crazy, but it kind of makes sense. I don't know if you have any thoughts about like this rebuild after 9 months of trading Luca. Um,
One
I
thing
don't
I'm
know. What are
interested
you
in with
feeling?
it, one thing I'm interested in with it is I saw this as a rumor whenever the Luka trade first happened, and I'm seeing it resurface the rumor now because it kind of died down. I don't know if this is true. People are trying to say an NBA team is wanted in Vegas and that Dallas, for some reason, is the market they want. And so they're trying to move that team to Vegas. And the way they would do that is to get ticket sales to go down because I just saw their 24-year streak of sold out games just broke. They just finally had a game that wasn't sold out. So I hate to be like the conspiracy guy, but like I'm very curious, like, because none of this makes sense. The Luka trade didn't make sense. Giving away the piece you just got for him doesn't make sense. Obviously, that's still like a up in the air if they try to do that or not. Um, they just got the number one pick, so like none of this would really make sense. Like, well, it doesn't make sense what they're doing. Um, I fully don't understand a rebound, especially because you do still have Kyrie who will come back at some point. And then once again, like I said, Cooper Flag, number one pick on the team. So I really nothing about it makes sense. So like I see why some people think there's a bigger plot going on. Um, but I just don't understand anything that's happening. The firing of Nico makes a little sense, and that would also make me think they wouldn't be going in that Vegas direction. They would be like actually trying to do something, but I really have no clue what's happening.
No, and I think it's crazy like the trade was that bad that we think that some crazy conspiracy is going on because it
Right.
was just it doesn't make any
Is
sense.
that bad?
No, really, it's that bad. I love
Yeah.
and I something I've been saying online is like, oh, they got a first round pick, trading away Luka Doncic. Maybe they could get Luka Doncic with that pick. It's
I
like
saw
how
that they were like, hear me out. Trade 80 in a first round for Luca and Max Christie. I think or no, it was a different Christie. Or no, it was Max Christie. Yeah, trade those for Luca. It's like
yeah. Like you might be able to get Luka,
it might be crazy enough to work.
which is just it's just a joke of how absurd it is.
Hmm.
Trade away like Luka Doncic, but I feel bad for Mavs fans. Like they're actually suffering right now.
Hmm.
I also I wish they wouldn't try to trade AD right now. Like at least try to do something with this team. I think the team's playing really bad right now, but I think the season's long. I think they'll get better,
Yeah.
especially with Kyrie coming back and Uber Flag has to develop. So I'm like, yeah, the owners made a really big mistake on Nico Harrison, but at least try to play this out a little bit. There's probably some upside there.
Hmm. I don't think
But
the rebuild makes sense.
no, it doesn't. It's too soon. And like, what are you rebuilding? Like
Yeah.
you have something going on
Hmm.
here.
Right.
Um,
And they just went to the finals with the biggest difference being the Luca, obviously, and that was something people said when he did get traded. But at the same time, you got most of that core group still kind of there, with some new additions. So definitely try to like just get your team in a more winning position. But I don't think getting rid of AD is the right move. I mean, you're gonna get something good for him, but if you keep trading and trading, the value is just gonna keep flipping.
yeah, and I think it's gonna be kind of embarrassing if they do trade him, like how little they're gonna get as well. That's
And just
gonna
how
be
quickly they like flip that. That's also embarrassing.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And also I don't think it's good for team morale the last
No.
9 months of like hearing sell the team, fire Nico like in the stands. I think the players like feel that too, and I think that's been affecting their performance. Like
Hmm.
they're not the Dallas Mavericks are not in a vacuum. Like they are experiencing this as much as we are.
Yeah. That's all I got for that, because yeah, that's just crazy situation.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Uh-uh. Mm-mm.